in the essence of time, let's get started on today's call. This is episode 232. The topic of today is the person behind your biz. What really matters? Who are you as the person? And for those of you that are watching the replay, the great people here are going to be share their time and their expertise at no cost. So reach out because you don't know who they know. There's some incredible people here from all over the world. So reach out. Morning, Vangelis, afternoon, whichever time of day it is for you.
Morning.
And, let's get started. I'm not sure who is the first one in here, but we'll start with Alan, followed by Annika.
Hi, John. Hi, everybody. I'm Alan Edwards. I'm a property investor and developer from Hampshire in the UK, and we convert relatively low-value commercial buildings to relatively high-value residential buildings. We've got a new project that we're just trying to get across the line this week, and it's a closed-down nursing home. It closed in 2022, and the building is empty at the moment, and it will convert into 13 one-bedroom units for vulnerable people. So it contributes towards solving the housing crisis, and it provides good quality accommodation to vulnerable and disabled people. So that's the sort of thing we do. And I'll put my contact details in the chat down below. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Alan. You're also doing some work in North America now, aren't you? Or looking to do some in North America?
Yes. We've got a collaboration going on with a couple of people you've introduced us to, and we're talking about doing work in the US as well as in Europe as well. So we got some preliminary inquiries going on with Jerry Prendergast of restaurantproducer.com and with Nick Scott, who's an expert at energy saving. So we've got a dialogue going on with both of those guys individually, and some of the benefits, particularly of the energy saving stuff, applies worldwide. So it's really exciting times for developing our business in those areas.
Excellent. Thanks, Alan. Dr.
Thank you.
Annika, followed by Tony.
Well, you know how C-suite leaders have too much on their plate and they are overwhelmed and scared that they do a bad job and that it will show, and they are scared to be seen weak. So what I do is I help these leaders to get back on track through mentoring, speaking, workshops, and soon an online course, so they can be their good best and do what they always dreamed about, and the money will follow. So I will also put I will also put my information in the feed.
Stress can be a really big killer for a lot of businesses, a lot of people in business. So thank you for helping people deal with that. Tony,
yes,
followed by Vangelis, and then Daniel.
Hi, it's morning where I am, so I say happy new day. I am Tony B from the Buonaiuto Movement. Buonaiuto is my last name. It means good help in Italian, in case I had never told you that. I help people, literally, who've been strong for everyone else. This is a true testament of my week because I'm practicing what I preach. I'm going deep inside because I forget about who I am when I reach out and help so many other people. But I help people who forget about themselves because they're busy, stuck or struggling inside because they help so many people on the outside. A lot of people I come in contact with are exhausted, not just physically, mentally, but spiritually as well. They feel empty. So what we do here is we help them break free from the pain and the patterns that sabotage their relationships, sabotage their own lives, and they don't even realize it. It's a hard message to get across because most people that are busy helping other people feel like they're contributing to the world. But my analogy usually is, if you can't love yourself, how do you love anybody else? So you get burned out. And I know it because I've lived it. I've beat some addictions, alcoholism, other kinds of vices. So I really help people become the person I am now by eliminating the person I used to be. They live free on the outside when I'm finished. My links will be in the chat, and this is going to be a good topic today. I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tony. A lot of people have problems realizing that they have a problem. It's, I can handle it. I can get through it. It's nothing serious. So thanks for helping out to a lot of people. Vangelis.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vangelis. I'm here in Costa Rica at the moment. And I work with companies that want to help increase or improve their key performance indicators, boost their market positioning, all the things that companies would like to improve. And I have a part where I help them integrate artificial intelligence instead of getting rid of people or removing people, like a lot of people have these fears. Then what we do is we work with companies to help the people that are working currently to be more effective, more efficient, and integrate AI and really demystify it, help them understand what it really does. Thank you.
You brought up a really good point, Vangelis. A lot of people are totally confused about AI, and what it's going to do to people, jobs, and what have you. So thank you for that. Daniel, followed by Glenda.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Daniel Cobriner, French, living in London, and I'm a high energy mental fitness coach, international motivational speaker, and I'm the host of a podcast called Redesign Your Life Today. So after 35 years in international sales and leadership, I felt a calling, something which was greater than myself, to dedicate my life to helping people unlock the best potential. And today, I work with entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals, especially over 40, who feel stuck, who feel stressed, and who feel disconnected from their purpose. I help them to regain clarity, confidence, and joy, because I know how it looks like to look successful from the outside, but drained and exhausted from the inside. And it's why I'm passionate about mental fitness. Because when you strengthen the muscles of your mind, everything else transforms. So in my 7 weeks to mental mastery and inner peace program, which is based on positive intelligence, I help people with just 15 minutes a day to fully become aware of their saboteurs and to quiet their inner critics and their self-sabotaging patterns. I help them as well to activate their sage powers, which is empathy, creativity, focus, and decisive action. I help them to build resilience, which is lasting, so their challenges will not be draining you. And I help them as well create a life that feels good, as good in the inside as in the outside. So if you are ready to stop running on empty and start living with clarity, confidence, and peace, let's connect, because your best life isn't behind you. It's waiting for you, and it starts with your mind. And don't forget, you only have one life. Thank you.
You brought up a lot of really great points there, Daniel. There is no do-overs. There is no replays. We got this life to live, and make it the best life you got. Thank you. Glenda, followed by Donna.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're coming in from. Maybe you once felt powerful and confident, but life knocked you down. A job drained your passion, or a relationship broke your trust. Responsibilities always seem to pile up, and somewhere along the line, you lost yourself. I know that pain because I've lived it. Hi, my name is Glenda Kroll, and I'm a life empowerment strategist and reinvention coach and a real estate investor. And I help women over 40 turn life's breakdowns into breakthroughs through a 3-step method that I have discovered: recognize, reinvent, and rise. It's never too late to reclaim your confidence, rebuild your life, and rise into the future you deserve. If anybody is interested in starting to build back their confidence and reclaim their life and build something that they are looking forward to, or maybe you even don't know, just book a coffee call with me. Let's talk. I'll let you, if I can't work with you, I'll let you walk away with at least some tools. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenda. You brought up a really good point. As we age, people think I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that. You help people realize that age is just a number and that you're capable of doing so many things. Thanks for sharing. Donna, that's quite the stargazing and blood moon that you had a picture of the other day.
Blood moon's pretty cool for those of you who got to see it, where it wasn't cloudy or you weren't in America. So I'm Donna Burton. I'm from New South Wales, Australia, 6.5 hours northwest of Sydney. I'm better known as Donna the Astronomer, and I'm old, but I've recreated myself a number of times. But I've been an astronomer professional for 25 plus years, and I'm not going to talk about how long I've been doing stargazing since before then, because it well into last century. But what my goal in life is to educate people about the wonders of the night sky, because we're losing it. Right across the world, fewer and fewer people get to see the night sky. And I want to encourage people how to save the night sky and join me one light at a time, and how they can incorporate astrotourism and such things into their business. These days, as a consultant, without actually having to go anywhere, I can do it all by Zoom and train your team up to how to do things if you're running B&Bs. But the main thing is, I have the best job in the world, so I get to have fun in that. And for me, there's something just really powerful about being able to go outside and to look up and just feel how small we are.
Donna, I really appreciate, when you're talking about the night sky. When Glenn and I were living off grid up north, it was amazing the difference in the sky you see up there compared to the light pollution and everything you see in all the cities. So, yeah, there is a big difference in that sky. Everyone, I'm John D. Allen Small Business Coaching. I'm a fixer. What I do is I see problems with businesses, situations, solutions, strategies, and I fix them. It's amazing how many things you can actually see when you take a look at a business. When you would stop and think about it, what got you here won't get you to the next level. So you've got to change your thinking. And it all comes down, as everybody here has been saying, it's all about your thinking, your mindset, your mind control. So, take some time, really think about where you are, where you're going, and what you need to do to change to get to where you are. That leads us into today's topic. But before we get into this, what I'd like to do is share a couple of apologies from people that are, regular attendees here. Miss Tina Higgins, she's not here today. Yvonne Jones will hopefully soon be back joining us. Brian K. McNeil, he'll be our regular, he'll usually be here. A lot of other great people. So without further ado, let's discuss today's topic. And that is the person behind your business. Who really matters? When you take a look at it, who is the person behind your business? Do you truly believe in that person? Do you believe in what they're doing and how they're doing it? Or are you suffering from the imposter syndrome? I throw it open to the people here in the group. Who wants to go first? Alan, you're usually first off there.
Okay, yeah, I was still struggling with my reactions on my mobile phone. But anyway, Thank you for choosing me and seeing that I put my hand up. Yeah, the person behind my business is myself and also two partners. One of them is Louise Suter. She's an architect, and we share similar aspirations as regards ethical designs and sustainability. And also Anna Lipcheva, who has also participated on this call as well in the past. And the three of us actually are driving the business forward because we actually cover all aspects of investment, property investment, from the concept of what somebody wants to invest in through to the actual, through the design and construction process and the rentals and also the decommissioning as well. There's something in the UK which is called the golden thread, which has arisen out of Grenfell, which was a horrific fire that occurred in London. And as a result of that, almost 90 people died in this horrendous fire. And the implications have been that there are very strict and onerous obligations on people who design and construct buildings. And we take ownership of that in everything that we do. So we take ownership of the golden thread and we take ownership of all the design process and the construction and also the ongoing rentals and then eventually the decommissioning of any building. So what our business is all about is about ethical ways of property investment and development. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. You brought up a lot of great points there, Alan, about the builder being responsible for
Yes.
the safety of the tenants.
Yes,
That's
exactly. Yeah.
That's a really major deal for a lot of people.
It is, absolutely, yes. And this was what came out of the Grenfell inquiry when lots of people had silicon shoulders and were not taking responsibility for what they'd done. It was always somebody else's fault. Well, we don't avoid the responsibility. We recognize that obligation and we take it on board.
That is excellent. Keep up the good work. Annika?
Yes. First, I have to say that probably imposter syndrome, I think everyone has at least some little piece of that, sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller, but it is human to have that. But if it rules your life, then it's kind of hard. I would say in my business, I am a doctor, so I live by the rules of medicine. I am very, for me, it's very important that everything I do is within my license. I can be at the edges, but I'm not outside. And if I do talk about something outside, I tell that's what it is, because I do need to have my license. And I am, it's just me and my company. I do have someone helping me with the social media and so on, and she's been with me for a long time and she knows what I'm talking about. And she can write things that comes from me, but she has written it because we have been working so long and I have learned, I have taught her over the years. And I am always to me, it's very important that I am true to myself and to the person that I'm helping or to the group or whoever is everyone around me, actually. I don't want to live on lies because then you don't know what you're doing after a little while. So to be a good listener, hear what they don't say is also one thing that I think that I'm very good at when I have clients, because I always talk about being straightforward. I tell them the truth in a kind way, I hope. But I don't want to put them in the belief that you can do things that you can't do. So I always say this is how it works, but it's your choice. People always do what they want. They don't do what I tell them to. If they believe me, they sometimes do what I say, but it's because they have seen the truth in their own head. I think that covers most of it.
You brought up some really good points there, Dr. Annika. Listen to what's not being said as well as what is being said. And another point was being a truth teller. Don't sugarcoat it, make it sound like, everything's a bed of roses when it isn't. Because as you mentioned, that person has to accept they've got a problem. They also have to accept that they want help and be willing to change. Because if they don't accept the problem, they're not willing to change. I don't care who you are, they're not going to do anything for it. So kudos to you for working with those people. Glenda?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So for me, I stood in my own way for years, because, I have done so much in my life and I have lived through so many stumbles and falls and breakdowns, and I had to get through them and get up from them. And from that is what I teach. It's not that it's something that I've read in a book. It's something that I've had to live through and I have had to go through. So integrity, resilience, and values are one of the most important things in my life. It's also, I live by the stories that I tell because those are my life lessons and from what I have gone through, so I can help others to go through them as well. As a matter of fact, just last night, I went to a group and I spoke. They're a group of parents who have children with disabilities. And I speak from what I've done for the last 35 years. I have been an advocate to my brothers who have special needs. And I've lived through a journey of doing everything for them as an advocate, a caregiver, doing financials. It's running two people's lives for 35 years. And from that, I've gone through a journey, and most of that journey has been by myself, and it's a lot of hard work, but my journey is to teach others so that they're not struggling what I went through. My hard falls have been great lessons for others to learn. So life had to teach me my own hard way so that I could build myself up so I wouldn't come through as a fraud to anyone else, and most importantly, to myself. Thank you.
Oh, Glenna, that's great. You've done a lot of great things, and thank you for the help for your brothers and everything. But the one thing for those people watching the replay, Glenna shared some really great things. She's sharing her own personal stories, not something she read somewhere, not something somebody told her. She's sharing her actual life stories. And that makes a lot of difference because nobody can tell you it doesn't work when you've already done it. You can look at them and say, you're full of it. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So keep up the good work, Glenda. Daniel?
Well, first of all, it's a very good question, a lot of food for thought. So, what I've learned for me is that the real power in any business, it's not about the strategy, about the product, but it's about the person behind it. So for me, after like 35 years in building international business, I rediscovered myself. It's really reinventing myself, moving from corporate to this mission, to this sacred mission of helping entrepreneurs and professionals to uncover their saboteurs and step into their sage. So it was really a soul calling. What I would add to that, it's my values are my compass. Because my business is really built on heart. It's built on trust and it's built on authenticity. And it's not just words, but it's really about the foundation, how I connect with people. It's really my full self. And this is for me the only way to help people transforming, because they can see that it comes from the heart and I relate. And what I would say is my energy is very important. I mean, in terms of, because I want to help people getting this clarity, getting this energy, encouraging people so that I can inspire them to really fully open up and give the best out of themselves. And what I would say as well is resilience has been a very important concept for me, because I've gone from a lot of challenges, like, you know, all of you in life, and it's really how to learn to overcome these challenges. How do we learn from that? How do we think that, oh, this is there for a reason, to bring up to the next step? And the way I'd like to finish it, it's about remembering the why. Why do we do things? And when we understand that, when we understand the purpose, when we understand the calling and how we can help others with our unique abilities, this is where everything becomes possible, because it's just that what people think and, you know, say doesn't matter, provided we are really focusing on whom we really are.
Now, thanks, Daniel. You shared some very valid points, if I understand you right. You talked about trust, which is a very big thing. People have to trust you. They don't have to know you're like you, but they have to trust you. And without trust, you've got nothing. Then you also talked about authenticity. You have to be the real you. If you try to be somebody you're not, you know, that's not going to work out for you at all. And another valid point you brought up is clarity. You have to be clear on who you are, what you represent, and who you actually want to talk to. Because if you're not clear on who you are and what you've got to offer, you're floundering around going out of style. And I'm sure Tony's going to bring some of this up after. You know, you've got to have clarity. So good points. Thank you, Daniel. Tony?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, John.
How much time do I have?
Not much.
Can I ask for more? Everybody
Yeah,
agree?
but you won't be giving it.
Oh, stop. My first shout out was to you, and that was the biggest time consumer, man. You've really stepped up since Peter's not been feeling well. My prayers go out to Peter every day, every minute. I hope he starts feeling way better really fast. But John, you really stepped up and took this by the hand, and I appreciate you for being here for us and everybody else. This group for me might not bring a lot of leads, but it brings me a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and I definitely ramp up on everything everybody says here. It's like exciting to want to be here this week to listen and learn. So this topic, the first thing that came to mind is Tony Robbins. And he talks a lot about these 6 human needs, core human needs. And he adds a 7th one too, but certainty, variety, and uncertainty. Significance, 4 is love and connection, 5 is growth. Contribution is the one I wanted to talk a little bit about today for me, but he adds 7, which is spiritual wholeness or oneness with God and the universe. Because this question is, why do I do what I do? I help a lot of people that get up and work 9 to 5 and they don't like their job. They're not happy in their life because it feels like they're out doing something that's what I've done with my life, which I help people do, is get up in the morning and love what you do. The money will come. It really will, if you're passionate about what you're doing. And my Buonaiuto movement is a legacy I'm building. It's not just help one person, because my favorite thing to do in the world is ask somebody how they're doing and don't say a word about myself. Listening is a big part of this whole lifestyle we live. The rewards are giant in that idea of the message you want to give is there's a great book about being the hero, and everybody in business wants to be their own hero and save lives or whatever and help people have a better product and so that they pay them in return. But when you make the customer or the client become the hero of their own life, then you can just hold their hand and be their guide through whatever it is you're doing or selling. I do manufacture dog treats on my wife and I have a business that we help that dogs live more healthy lives too. And it's not just through anything you are is everything you are. So you bring yourself wherever you go, to whatever dance you're dancing it. So you can't really hide it. You become transparent. So you talked a little bit about that person that might be imitation or I forgot the word you used, Alan, but the point I'm making here is that you can't grow without being a part of your own growth. And you can't, I've tried so many years to push a concrete business down people's throats and shoving my will on this world. And I realized when I stopped doing that, I win, and I let the people be their own people rather than. One more quick story. My son was 2 years old and he had this breathing disorder, RSV, and I was putting this inhaler in his mouth. He had to breathe it in so that he could breathe. And I put it in, he'd blow out. I put it in, he'd blow out. He would never take it. I put my knees on his shoulders and put it on his face and get him to breathe. When he exhaled, I'd put it so he would breathe it in. He wouldn't take it. One day I got so upset and angry, I threw it on the coffee table in the living room and went in the kitchen. I turned around and he was taking the medicine by himself. That's like how this happens for me lately, is I let people take their own medicine. I just show them what it is that they might need to be taken, and let God, the spiritual part of this, take care of the rest. So that's what I got today. I'll share the time. Thanks.
Tony, appreciate it. You were coming across kind of soft. I know my ears aren't working the best, so I was having a bit of a challenge hearing you, and so were a couple other people. But the main thing I get out of what you were saying is you got to love the skin you're in. And if you're having challenges, you're one of the best people to talk to. I know I tried to drink Canada Dry many times and never succeeded. So I could tell you about that part of life. And, you've done a great job overcoming addictions and everything else. You can really help a lot of people. So thank you. Vangelis, for those of you that are watching replay, here's a gentleman that's been all over the world multiple times and done so many amazing things. Vangelis?
I did not know what imposter syndrome was. I didn't know that I wasn't being me. It took so many years because I was brought up in a environment where you were supposed to think of others first and never yourself. So there was no time I spent discovering me, investigating me, or even thinking about me. And I suppose I was living my life on fumes because there was no filling myself with anything because I didn't really even know that. So when people throw out these ideas of imposter syndrome and getting to know yourself and discovering, it just kind of went past me because I didn't know what that was. And what I see now is if I just spend all my time on me, that is my service to humanity. So I think as Peter asked me last year, he says, so why do you do what you do? And I thought, well, what I do is work on myself. That's what I do. Because you love your neighbor as yourself, so that translated to me, I love my neighbor as I love myself. And if I don't love myself, that's how I love my neighbor. I trust me first because if I can't trust me, there's no trusting anyone else. So all the stuff is, I'm honest with myself. I trust myself. I believe in myself. And that took decades. So it only was because I was so deep into the other stuff that, and it may take other people one day, but it was just a huge journey for me to just even know what that imposter thing was. And now every moment I'm seeing more of me, and every moment as I do things that I'm inspired to do. I'm not doing things, I don't have a plan A, B, C like I used to. I mean, everything was, you can't plan serendipity, you can't plan synchronicity. That's the beauty of it. When you start discovering you, then it's a whole different way of seeing things and a whole different way of communicating with people. And Tony, I like what you were saying also, because it's the ability to listen to yourself. I can't listen to others if I don't even listen to me, and help other people to help themselves instead of giving them what you know they need. You just say, look here, if they take it, they do. If they don't, they don't. And then Daniel, it's the mental fitness. I did not even know what that was. I didn't know what a sage was or a saboteur. Yeah, I mean, those are just words to me. And now, because I'm listening to things I'm saying, was that me speaking or was that something else speaking? I didn't even know what that was either. So this has been and still is there every moment. I'm just discovering and just seeing more of myself. And so that imposter now makes sense to me. And now I realize, okay, am I being me? Yes. Thank you.
You brought up some very valid points, Vangelis. You know, a lot of people suffer from the imposter syndrome, whether they want to admit it or not. You know, they're not really feeling 100% themselves. They're saying things that we think other people want to hear, and that makes us feel good, gives us the endorphins and all the rest of that stuff. But you know, you have to be true to yourself, and when you're true to yourself, that's when the real you comes out. So thank you for sharing that. Donna, what have you learned in stargazing?
I've learned lots about stargazing, but I had lives before there. I didn't actually know what imposter syndrome was either. But I found out, and I obviously suffered it. I grew up pretty poor. I grew up in this, I mean, I don't know what you have in the rest of the world, but my dad came back from Vietnam, a very sad situation, very bad situation in Australia after Vietnam. But he couldn't handle the city, so we drove cattle and sheep from one end of Australia to the other during the drought. And so I did School of the Air and all of those things. But I had the best life ever. I didn't go to real school. I didn't have a lot of discipline. I had 50 uncles who, if I looked at a boy, would have hit me over the head and hit him over the head as well. But out of that, I think I built this resilience that seen me through my life. And the day I turned 15, I wasn't allowed to do school anymore because women were supposed to get married and all that sort of stuff. And I kind of rebelled at that. I tried governessing and jackarooing and all that sort of Australian stuff. But I put myself back through school to get the Duke of Edinburgh Award for some obscure reason. That was the one thing in my life I wanted, and I had no idea why I wanted it. I achieved it. I got my award off the actual Duke of Edinburgh himself down in Canberra when I was 16. And basically, my whole life's been all of these like serendipitousness. I've worked in as engineers and I've done all sorts of things until I fell into astronomy, which I've always been in love with my whole life. And I did correspondence and School of the Air in the days when you actually had to pedal the radios, Peter. So it was a bit old fashioned for the rest of the world. But now I'm old. I've had 25 years doing research as a researcher. Now I'm doing what I want to do, which is inspire, which I've always done, and inspiring other people. Whereas I disagree with Dr. Anika in one sense, because I actually believe anyone can be anything they want to be. I've been an engineer, a pilot, an astronomer, now a public speaker. I do, you know, I have the best the best life in the world, but it's because nobody told me I couldn't do stuff. And so when I go out and talk to kids and to young people and to anybody and do keynote speakers on from drover's kid to OAM, which is the highest, which is like an OBE, I think, in Britain, you know, I just don't believe in limits. So I like to teach people that they can be, and I'm not a coach. I don't do any of that stuff on purpose. It just falls into place. But to me, that's the person behind my business is, I don't believe there isn't anything, even at my age, that I can't do. And I love this group because everybody else is so positive. Thank you.
You brought up a lot of really good points, Donna. Be yourself. You're the one that sets the limits. And if you decide there are no limits, all the better for you, because so many of us grew up with, you're in that little box. You got to be here and that's all you got. So, Daniel, I'll get to you in just a moment. For me, I grew up always trying to please my father. My brother was the hero. My dad always said to me, and for years I thought it was a compliment, and I realized he was actually being facetious. He always said if I was the first, I'd have been the last. And, like I say, for years I didn't realize he was disappointed in me. I always thought, hey, I was the best kid. I was a royal pain in the ass for a lot of times, but that was beside the fact. And for years and years, and even when he passed away in 2009, I was still trying to be the son for him. The one thing he did was, I had a lot of good accomplishments in corporate and what have you. He would always brag to everybody else how great I was doing. He'd never tell me. And to me, I was always the underdog type thing. Like I said, my brother was the hero. I was the underdog. It took me a long time to realize that I had to be me. And, I'm doing the best job I can. Is it always the right job? No. Is it always turn out the way I want things to do? Not a hope in hell. But you know what? It's my life. I'm living it. And the one thing I've learned, and this is through Peter and other great coaches, is people don't buy us and the conviction in our solution. What they buy is how we make them feel. Because we all have to realize people don't buy when they understand you. They buy when they feel understood. And the one thing I'm getting from all of these conversations from the great people here today is they know how to make people feel understood. And that is the biggest thing. When we can make other people feel like we understand them, that's when they say, wow, they're the person I want to work with. I want to work with Daniel, with Annika, with Tony, Vangelis, Glenda, Donna, Alan. It is such a great feeling. Peter, we're also lucky to be in this group. There is so many incredible people and so much to do. So for those watching, take heart in what everybody here has been saying, because there's something here that will resonate with some of you. Reach out to that person, talk to them. They'll talk to you. There's no cost other than your time. Reach out. I'm sure you'll be glad you did. Daniel?
Well, first, I wanted to echo what you just said, John. I mean, it's such a privilege here to be part of this group, to listen
Can I
to
get you to speak up just a bit?
Oh yeah, sorry. Now is it better? Yeah. So no, I just said it's such a privilege to be part of this group and to listen to everybody sharing, and this is so energizing. And the only reason I raised my hand, it was just to say something to Donna, if I may. Donna, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story. And see, there is one thing I picked up in what you said. You said, I'm old. What does it mean, old? You are wise. You've got so much experience to share. This is, I think, age for me is a label. But it's how we feel, how we can contribute to others. And I mean, I'm 64. Am I old? I don't know. I don't feel, I just feel a lot of energy, and I hope that, when I'm 80, I will still have this energy. So again, I just wanted to say that because sometimes the way we talk to ourselves is very important. We kind of it's like we say things, and sometimes it's, the meaning is not always the most positive one. So I just wanted to raise this little point. I hope you don't mind me sharing that.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Dr. Annika.
Yeah, I want to come in on that too, saying I'm old because I am old. I'm much older than Daniel, for example, since I know he just said how old he is. But I don't see it as a weakness. I see it as a strength. And I think most of the time I've got some wisdom from it. So I can see things from another perspective and don't be so scared and go into things with a light heart, because what can happen, and what if the bad things happens, well, you just step back. So age is just a number.
And here I was thinking you were only 40.
Yeah, you bet.
Anybody else got anything they'd like to add here? Daniel, got your hand up again?
Sorry, it was a mistake. No, I've got to, yeah.
I would like to comment on Donna's full blood
Can you speak
moon.
up a bit, Tony?
Oh man, I don't know. Is this better?
A little bit.
How about this? Can you hear me now?
Awesome.
Good. My headphones are shot. I guess I need new ones. I just wanted to comment on Donna's blood moon observation. From my house in America, we got Canadian wildfires that blew this smoky dust in, and I've never seen a moon so red in my entire life. It was so amazing, really, really good. And for the woo-woo people out there and the astrologers and the people that follow whatever it is in astrology, there was a special day yesterday in the cycle of numbers, 999. It was September 9th. And if you add up the year, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, that equals 9. So it was 999. Donna, I don't know if that means anything to you, but it was really powerful for me. Really cool.
I love looking into the numbers, but it sort of mostly goes above my head. So now I'll go and research that one. Thank you.
That is great. If no one else got anything to add, we can wrap it up, get on with our day or evening, whichever time zone you're in, or afternoon. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Look forward to seeing everybody next week. Another great topic. Thanks, Peter, for putting this group together. Really appreciate it. Everybody, don't forget to save the chat. Click on the 3 dots, save the chat. You can get everybody's information and go from there.
I
Thank you,
don't
everyone.
think you
Goodbye.
can save it from mobile phones. So I can't actually save it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if anyone can save it and send it to me, I'd be so appreciative.
I'm sure somebody can do that for you, Donna. You might even get it from 3 or 4 people. Who knows?
Thank you very much.
Anybody open to saving it and sending it to you? There, Peter says he'll send it.
Thanks, Peter.
All right.
Peter.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Good evening from
Goodbye.
Australia.
Hey, John.
Bye
Goodbye.
for now.
Everybody have a good day.